Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today, we're thrilled to have a chat with Nick, the co-founder of Randimals, an inspiring toy brand that embraces uniqueness in the most creative way. Imagine animal being blended into unique hybrid, half tiger, half animals, half elephants, and a whole bunch of a very interesting combination. I think Randimals is a wonderful toy brand that carry a very powerful message, means to celebrate each of us uniqueness and the differences. So thank you so much, Nick, for being on our show and sharing your inspiring story behind your toy brand.
Oh, Jason, thank you so much. This is my very first ever podcast. So I appreciate very much you reaching out for this opportunity. I can already see that I need to up my studio game. The lighting in here is a little dark, I'm afraid. So
No problem. We can
lesson learned right out of the gate.
No problem. So let's start with the beginning. Where did the idea of Randimals even came from?
Well, we had the initial idea back in 2013. My best friend and I, Casey, had regular jobs, and we didn't really have the financial means or the confidence or the know-how to be able to try and execute it. And it was not until 2020 when obviously most of us were sat at home doing nothing during the pandemic, that my friend said now is probably the best time, as good a time as any, to try and pull off launching a toy brand called Randimals. The inspiration was probably a few things, but my dog Ollie, he was a part Basset and a part Lab. He had all the lovingness of a Lab and all the stubbornness of a Basset, and so he was definitely an early inspiration to creating these plush figures. And also, we ended up writing a book about the Randimals in conjunction with the development of the product.
Yeah, and I think you also have some product with you today. If you, for our listener that haven't seen your product, please check out our YouTube channel for the actual product. Could you also share some of the products?
Yeah, I can try and describe some of them for sure.
Yes.
This was the initial one that we came up with. This is Hork. For listeners, this is a combination of a horse and a shark. This is definitely the most iconic Randimal that we make, and then we also make them into plush toys. This is Hork.
Yeah.
And we also, a couple of years after that, created these little ones called Random Minis. And so, we do them in three different types. I'll show you another couple of them. This is Huck, part horse, part shark. Can you guess what this one is, Jason?
Is the honey bee and a dinosaur? A bee and a dinosaur?
It is definitely a bee, and it is a dinosaur. It is a bee Rex.
B-Rex, okay.
B-Rex.
Yeah.
And one of the really nice things that we have on our website is an ability for kids to design their own Randimals. So we get hundreds of these submissions every single week. And this is the winner of the 2023 contest. This is Jertle, part giraffe and part turtle. So it's a really nice thing that we're able to offer, these kids the ability to not only send in the drawings, put them up on the website, but also potentially have these creations made.
Yeah. I think that really bring the community involvement piece of it and make it like a joint effort of people also participating in creating the product for sure. So
Absolutely. This is the book that we wrote. For the listeners, there's a picture of my dog Ollie on the front here, and there's a little girl whose horse and shark are in shreds, and she's figuring out a way to put them back together again. So right from the very beginning, we wanted to create a brand that had more meaning than just plush toys and funny toys. We wanted to create a brand that has some heart, some soul, and this idea. Our slogan is what makes us different makes all the difference in the world. So that's basically the slogan that we live by, and what the brand is defined by.
yeah, I think that in that sense, I can relate in multiple different level myself, since my toy brand also trying to focusing on helping kids with special needs. And one thing is about how can we celebrate the uniqueness, the differences, and the kids' special power behind behind them. And I think some of your brand messages also share some of the messages as well. And one thing I also want to talk about before today's interview, you also talk about how you are also trying to connect with some of the special needs community. Can you also share some of the feedback you got from the special needs communities? And
Yeah, when we launched Randimals, I mean, you're right. We are all different, and as we say at the Randimals, difference is our superpower. Because how boring would it be if we were all the same? We do a Randimals show, and we take that out on the road, and we go to schools. And the best example of this, I think, is there was a lady on the front row of one of the shows we were at, and she had identical twins. And I said to the mother, "Gosh, how on earth do you tell your sons apart? They're identical," and they really were. But she's had a simple answer. She said they may look the same, but they could not be more different. Yeah, and when we started, we had no idea. We had no idea what we were letting ourselves in for, Jason. To be honest, still we just came back from the London Toy Fair and the New York Toy Fair. I still have big time imposter syndrome. I have never worked in the industry before. This has all been just a happy accident, and we're thrilled to be part of this wonderful toy community. But yes, you're right. When we started, we thought we would be designing Randimals for children. But it became very apparent soon, right after a few posts that were put online about the Randimals, not from us, but from influencers that had bought the product and wanted to talk about them. It became very obvious that we had a lot of adult fans, and I think there's a number of reasons for that. And we are just thrilled. And the kidult market, as you're fully aware, is a big demographic at the moment. But one of the really beautiful communities that have reached out to us on a number of occasions have been the autistic community. We have touched the lives of a lot of autistic kids, and I'm not an expert. You could probably tell me a lot better, but from what I understand, autistic kids, well, they seem to love to draw hybrid animals. They love to sort of personify inanimate objects. And there's some beautiful videos out there on TikTok where you can see it just makes them happy, and it connects with them in a very meaningful and special way. And I hope to be able to understand more about the autistic community, as we keep going on this Randimals journey.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for staying behind your brand's mission to really bring more awareness of how everyone is different and unique, and to also respect everyone's differences. I think that's very important. And
it's reflected in our team as well, Jason. When we started, obviously we were all working in a vacuum in our own homes, and so we looked to the world basically online. The internet is a great leveler. The internet has allowed us to play in a field that is dominated by the giant toy companies, and it has allowed us to create a little space for ourselves. And we reached out to numerous people all over the world to try and help us, and we brought on a graphic designer from Armenia, an illustrator from Nepal, a web designer from Pakistan, social media from Colombia, and we profile them in the back of the book because it adds to this beautiful message. What makes us different makes all the difference in the world. And
Yeah.
I should actually mention very quickly, because I forgot to do that. Basically, there are 2 key points in the book. How did the Randimals come to be? Ollie chews up all the little girl's toys, and there's bits and pieces everywhere in the morning. She gets very upset, but she finds a way to put them back together again. And then they come alive and they go on a journey to a toy store. But when they get to the toy store, all the other animals and toys in the toy store are less than friendly to the Randimals. And that's where Ella Rilla comes in. She's the matriarch of the Randimals. And she teaches them this lesson that what makes us different makes all the difference in the world.
I see. Yeah, that's a beautiful story. And I think you also have a show you mentioned, right? Beside the book.
We would love to have a show. We were recently in London, as I mentioned, and on the last day, a gentleman who was a social media influencer did a video of us that went viral around the world. It now has over 30 million views on his TikTok and Instagram. And from that TikTok and Instagram, we have had the most interesting of calls that have come in from around the world, including producers and people in the industry that are inquiring as to the ability for this to become something like a TV series.
Oh, okay. So it is currently in the work, or you are currently
the conversations are in the early development, and yes, that would be an amazing project to be a part of if that happens.
For sure. And I know starting a toy brand during COVID must be tough. What was some of the biggest challenge initially when you started the brand?
Not knowing what we were doing. I mean, it's one of those things where if we knew everything now, we probably would have been too afraid to have done it. But sometimes naivety is blissful. And so we just did baby steps. We tried to prove that we could try and do this by putting one foot in front of the other. We came up with some designs, and these designs actually are featured in the second book. So this was the first Photoshop drawing that we created. This lady in Armenia created for us, and we sent these drawings to factories that we found on Alibaba, and we said, can you make something like this? Now, they'd already made toys, obviously, in the past, and they had never made anything quite like this. And to be honest, that was one of their reactions. One of their reactions was, whoa, okay, this is very different. And that word different kept popping up. But kids, they don't see difference. Kids do not see difference. They just look at something, and if it's awesome to them, it's awesome. They don't see it being different.
Yeah, I think we as an adult, we have a lot of conditioning of like a certain way the society is supposed to be at, or is it something how it's supposed to act? And I think with your product, you really trying to break the barrier and break some of the the social conditioning of how a toy is supposed to look like. So that's definitely a very unique aspect of your brand.
It's true.
Sure. So.
It's true. And some of the big brands, we're a small little brand, trying to make a noise, and we are quite happy to take big swings and risks and fall on our face, and maybe make some design choices that are a little more edgy that perhaps, a bigger toy company might be fearful of doing. And so I think that there's some pluses that come out of being naive and being small and being nimble and taking some chances.
For sure. And I know you have been making quite a bit of traction within the industry as well. What are some of the recent milestones that you currently have for the brand?
There's been so many, Jason. Going viral in the way that we did, like I just said, opened up so many doors from different people that are contacting us about potential licensing, collaborations, film, TV, an opportunity to go to schools. I have a map that I'm putting little dots on this map of all the schools that would like us to come and present the Randimals show. And I'm hoping that there are enough dots on the map that I can join them all together, rent a big bus and go on a Randimals tour. We recently went national in Ripley's Believe It or Not, and Ripley's aquariums. Ripley's has been a tremendous partner, and it all came from a TikTok that one of their employees saw. They got in contact with us. They ordered a few cases. They did a test. that in 2 stores, that led to 4 pallets to 8 pallets. And then they decided to go national and ordered a 40-foot container. That was exciting. We were chosen by Amazon last year as one of their most exciting young companies to look out for. That was a high praise from Amazon. And there's always some exciting news, it feels like, just around the corner.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like that's a lot. That's a big milestone, and all the different like traction you have make with the brand. So, what are some of the things you're currently working on for 2025 and beyond?
Well, we're always working on new Randimals. Those are always in the works, and like I said, we get the most amazing drawings from kids. So they're a constant source of creativity. We would love to put together the Randimals show. We are in communication, as I said, with a number of potential key partners that could really take Randimals to an we're at an inflection point. When that post hit and we got 30 million views, we realized then and there that my partner and I were not capable of handling all the incoming traffic, calls, and opportunities. And so we have been in touch with a number of potential strategic partners that could really take Randimals to a Randimals 2.0, if you will. And so that is going to be extremely exciting. If one or a few of these different partnerships happen, then I think that there could be some even more exciting things in store for both Casey and my career and the Randimals as a brand.
For sure, and I'm also looking forward to potentially partner with your brand in the future as well, in any capacity as we can. And I think because your brand is so unique, and you're also really trying to create a universe almost that's very unique to the brand. So it's not just the toys, it's the books and the potential show that you're talking about. I think that will be a very unique universe in like all in itself. So when you have like people that's engaging and really understand what you're representing, I think you can create a very strong community around the brand, and also what the brand is standing for, and as well. And I believe like your the products and the toy is very different. So engaging with your customer is definitely the key. And you mentioned about one thing you mentioned earlier is like you're encouraging the kids to draw different Randimals and submitting different ideas. And besides, how does that idea came about? Did you came up with the idea, or does your business partner come up?
That's a great question. A great question, Jason, and thank you for asking it, because you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, it's about connecting with and engaging our consumers, whether they are children or, as we later found out, adults. And obviously those are two different markets. But yes, we wanted to create on our website the ability for kids to be able to, and adults, to interact with the brand. So the Create Your Own was one channel that we created where kids can send in their own drawings, and we get the most amazing design ideas. But secondarily, we wanted to try and bring these characters to life. And so we worked with this app that allows me to basically embody any of the Randimals characters with a simple picture, and I am able to speak.
Oh, wow. Whoa, that's very fun. Okay.
Yeah, I can do it. So, for instance, we have on the app, a child might email us or send in a request on the website saying, hey, it's my birthday next week, or the mother might say, it's a birthday next week. Can you send a message to Jason from Hork, because he has the Hork toy. And so within 24 hours, we are able to send them a video, and Hork has a very specific voice. I'll embarrass myself by doing you a happy birthday, Jason, on air. So it would be something along the lines of, well, hi, Jason, Hawk here, Pat Horse, Part Shark. We are the Randimals. We have a simple message. What makes us different makes all the difference in the world. And happy, happy, happy big birthday coming up, mate. So that was my less than.
Oh, it's pretty good. Were you a voice actor in the past?
No. Every morning, my wife wonders what noises are coming out of the bathroom. Let me clarify. They're coming from the shower as I try and perfect and come up with different voices for all the different characters.
Oh, you are very good. You're like natural at it. I'm surprised you're not a voice actor in your
Well,
previous career.
it's really fun because when we go to a retail store environment, we can
Yeah.
we can tell them to launch the contest, and we'll send free prizes to anybody that enters the contest if they pick a winner. But then,
Yeah.
secondly, imagine if you're going into the store with your son or your daughter, and they buy, let's say they buy B-Rex, and then the store attendant. Person that works at the store is able to say, well, if you just go to this website and this link, you can get a personal message from B-Rex. And that would go something along the lines of, well, hi, B-Rex here, put B and put Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm so happy that you took me home with you. And so the app allows me to actually modulate the pitch and the speed of the voice. So the voice that I just did gets put through a filter, and it ends up different from what I just said, but what I just said was a good base for how B-Rex talks.
I see. And does it also have like an AI function to generate additional like conversation with the kids as well?
That would be amazing. No, I basically put in a picture of B-Rex, and then you can map out where its eyes are, its nose, and its mouth, and it will animate the message according to the movements of my mouth. But things are happening so fast. I've already been reading about how it won't be too long before we can bring our actual plushie toys to life and maybe have. I mean, can you imagine seeing this guy walking around an environment out in the wilderness? It would be really fun. We did partner with a company in London that did an AR version. So if you go to our homepage on the website, you can have an AR hork, and you can put that hork in any environment along with you. Take your picture of it, and you can make it as small or as large as you like.
Nice. Almost like Pokemon Go in real life.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Similar concept. Okay, well that's very unique as well, and people can see it and like interacting with their like their rooms and their environment. There's not a lot of, and I see not a lot of toy companies doing that yet. That's a few, but with a product as unique as yours, I think that will really bring things it shows things from a different perspective as well.
Absolutely. And all this effort in trying to create and bring the Randimals to life, as much as it was to create engagement with kids, obviously, we wanted to sort of see what these creatures would be like. And that was the second book, basically coming up with their personalities and characteristics, because the first book explains the origin story of the Randimals and the message. And the second book does a deep dive into their personalities and what kind of characteristics would a horse shark or a horse duck or a let's see what else we have here. P-Dog. P-Dog's a very popular one. Part penguin and part husky. And so we keep just trying to push this along to see how much we can have them come alive. And hopefully one of these producers or film companies will see this, and then that will connect all the dots that are necessary for them to see how this could be an amazing feature film or a TV series.
For sure, because it's very different, like you say, and you have a beautiful brand message that you're trying to bring to the world, and as well trying to wrap up today's interviews. And thank you so much for sharing your story about your brand and your mission. One thing I always like to ask the guests is, if you have to share just one piece of advice with someone that's getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be based on your experience?
Well, I think that my partner and I's experience hopefully will be really interesting to anybody wanting to get into the toy industry, because we had no experience whatsoever. If you have an idea and you have the passion and the determination, it's possible. The internet has been such a great leveler in terms of being able to compete, and take on to some degree these, larger toy companies. You have all the tools, and it's just been an incredible journey. I think also luck does come into it for sure. But, I tell my partner all the time, he tells me when we're going to some of these trade shows, or I pursue everything. I go down every single path I possibly can. And sometimes he thinks that I'm just spinning my wheels. But I think, it's the old adage that the more that you sort of put into something, and the more you explore something and try and find out something somewhere along the line. The more stones that you unturn, eventually you're going to unturn a stone that has that little lucky charm under it. And is that luck or hard work and determination? It's always that big question, but it's definitely a mixture of the two.
I think you need to, just like you say, create your own luck. If you don't put in the work, the chances, the opportunities, the viral video that you just mentioned will never came into place if you didn't take the time and the effort and the hard work to make sure people actually see that, initially. So, but thank you so much for sharing that, and also all the hard work you have put into your brand. I can definitely feel the passion and amount of the resources and also time and effort you put into your brand so far.
Jason, that's kind of you. And I'm 55 years old, and I've had many different careers. I live in a small little ski town in Idaho called Sun Valley, and that definitely hindered some of my career choices by choosing to live in a small mountain ski town. And I often say to to Casey and other friends, I've had jobs before and I've had careers before, but it hasn't been until the age of 50 when I started to work on Randimals that I truly felt that this was my calling. And if anyone is lucky enough to find a calling, then it's not work at all. It's just pure joy.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's very important as an entrepreneur, to find something that you can feel really passionate about and really stand behind. So, where is the best people for people to find you online?
Randimals.com, Randimals.com. And all the usual social channels using Randimals. If you search Randimals, we're on TikTok and Instagram. And anybody that's out there, please feel free to send us an email or a picture that they want up on the website. If they've got kids, to create your own, or send in a request for a Randimals video direct message. We love to interact and engage with we call them fandimals. So we love to engage with anyone that is a potential fandimal.
I like how you have a unique term for all the different aspects. That's very fun as well. So, and for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support and would love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resource tips and the latest update within the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag #ToyBusinessUnboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestion for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, and keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.